second. I hope this thing stays. It's like all on the side. It's cocked to the side a little bit. I need to be able to get a Hugo in here. Oh man. Okay, go ahead, stop. Hello, hello, hello. Hi, babes. It's me, it's your girl, Chayla. This is Baeology Radio, a real life study of love and relationships. And I am extra excited because I am here with Miss Chantel Douglas. Yes. Of Right For You Media. And we'll get into who she is and what she does in a second. First of all, I want to tell you that I wore my hair today in homage to you. Oh. Yes, I did. And I had my what do you call her? Afro.
I call her
Black Girl Magic.
Queen Black Magic.
Queen Black Magic.
Yeah.
I had my shirt out when my son was cutting the food this morning because I wanted to take the shirt with me because we can't wear like screen prints at my job. So I had it out to take, and I thought it was in my car until I realized, and I was like, oh. So
it's all good.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to like post it up. I'm gonna have to do like a consumer selfie or something like that and send it to you. Yeah. For sure. Because
I wear it all the time. I was like, I'm not wearing it tonight. I'll wear it too much.
Oh my God, yes. I was saving it for this day. And I was like, dang it. But at least I got the hair part right. So, let's go ahead and get into it. Introduce yourself to the babes.
Peace, everyone. I'm Chantel Douglas. I am the owner of Right For You Media. I'm an educator by day. I teach first grade. But my passion is entrepreneurship. And what I do with Right For You Media is I offer social media management to small businesses. I really, really love to help Black-owned businesses. That's just my thing. Of course, just being Black, Black businesses do, hit me up for that assistance. What I do with my social media management is I basically take over their social media accounts. I post for them. If they need some graphic content, I make that, like flyers or whatever. I also do email newsletters where I just send emails to their clientele, letting their clients know what's going on with that business, and press release writing. Anything in the public relation area is my specialty, besides, of course, being a caregiver. And I love that so much. I just moved out here to New Orleans in July.
Woo-woo.
So leaving Baton Rouge was like something I was so ready to do.
Really?
Yes. I was sick of Baton Rouge. I love my time at Southern, but, after college, things just changed. So this change is what I needed in this season of my life. And with my business, I'm so excited. I just made it official yesterday. I'll be helping a local business in Baton Rouge promote their small business classes that they're going to be offering.
Wow.
So
okay.
I'm just excited about that. That's the perfect jump I need. And this is the month of harvesting and balance. So it's just great to see that happening this month.
In October, that number 10. You have to look at the number 8.
Right.
And look at the number 10.
And I also, right, exactly. Speaking of Miss Queen Black Magic, that's another love that I have. Is I have ideas that come in my mind, and I'll just shoot it to my graphic designer, and that's something that we started with Black Magic, and I had an idea, a vision in my heart of just something to put on a shirt for positive representation for Black women. And she came to my mind. I told my sister friend, who was the owner of JAEC Designs, and she made her. And I got it screen printed on shirts, and I just started vending and selling them to family, friends, anybody who liked it. And it's a great opportunity. It has been for me. My first vending experience in New Orleans was on the West Bank. I cannot think of the name of the store, but it's in the area called Little Africa that had a festival on a Sunday on Belleville. I remember the address, but I can't remember the store name.
Little Africa.
Black Star Cafe, Black
Okay.
Yeah,
okay. Sounds very
like
familiar.
And I was shown so much love. I was just like, really, this is what I need to be doing. So that's what I'm gonna keep pressing. I'm gonna get more merchandise with Black Magic on there.
Yes.
And I have another vision that's being birthed soon. So I'm gonna have another, shirt design, merchandise design. So just follow me on Instagram at Right For You Media.
Yes.
And you'll see what Black Magic is all about.
And that's right, WRITE
right.
for you. Yes. So, basically, how did the whole concept of Right For You Media come about? Like, how did you know that was something that you wanted to do?
That's a real good question. Man, like I said, just a transition after college was a real life eye opener. I had so many little jobs that had nothing to do with mass communication, public relations, and I was just fed up. And I said, I need to do something or start something that when it officially gets popping off, I can just count on that to, to hold me financially for life. Mm-hmm. And not only start a business, but any means of making income that I know will be substantial and last a lifetime, I need to start pushing it into play. But I needed something to start me off. And I was just thinking, and I was like, what is something people need? They may not know they need it, but I know because as a consumer, when I'm interested in businesses and the Facebook and Instagram is so outdated, I lose interest, right?
Right.
So I was like, well, I'm good at graphics, but I don't want to be making flyers and stuff all day because that is tedious and whatever.
Yeah.
What is another way that I can mix the both? So I was just like, well, social media is popping right now. It's new apps to post what you're doing, coming out left and right. And the idea of social media management just birthed in me. So I just meshed the two together, graphic design and using the gift of writing, promotion, communications that I was educated in at Southern to just bring income for myself. And I said, I'm just going to go with it no matter what happens. And that's just my baby. And I'm going to stick to it. Even though entrepreneurship is not easy, I would encourage everybody, whatever idea they have, stick to it. It's going to bring, fruition to your life eventually. If that's really what you were supposed to be doing.
Most definitely.
Right.
And I just have, I don't know, I have a passion for entrepreneurs. And I was telling my girlfriend on the way here, I was like, I really want to spotlight entrepreneurs and businesses and Black businesses because I'm like, that's in my blood. It runs in my family. Like on my dad's side of the family, we're talking about we're doing a family reunion next year, and my great grandfather in the 1800s, or great grandfather, owned a business. He owned a store. And from there, my grandfather, he owned a bar. And this is a small town, small town where after slavery, a lot of Black people became sharecroppers, and farmers and stuff. But he owned a ballroom, and then my dad's parents, so my grandfather had the ballroom, my grandmother had a sweet shack. That's what I call it, the sweet shack. And being a little kid in that sweet shack, it was almost like candy was just dangling off the roof. It was like everywhere. I was like, oh my God, this is like my favorite place ever. And then one of my aunts had a vision to take that and expand it into a convenience store. So now there's, Sky Grocery, like big ups to like Shantae and Brandon that's holding it down at that Sky's Grocery in Cologne. You heard me. Yeah, that's my people,
That's awesome.
And so even with my dad, like he's going on to start like a private investigation agency that's been in business since 2002. And my mom has like owned, beauty salons. And so it's just, I've been around it. A lot of people are afraid of it. I'm not afraid of it because
my family, the opposite. They're like work from 16, retire at 60, whatever, and I'm like, it's not looking like I'm going to have a good retirement because I've had so many jobs since college. I was like, times have changed. But that is awesome to have that background and good motivation. I had to motivate myself. They was just like, better get a job. I'm like, oh my God, no, got to lose that mindset.
Right. Yeah, that what's attractive to me is like infinite income. That's attractive. Very attractive. Yes. So for those of you who are watching, thank you so much for watching and listening. We're definitely going to get to the base stuff. Just be patient. But I wanted to talk a little bit about our connection to each other because I thought it was just really dope how we met.
Right.
Yeah. So it was like it was Girl State. Well, I ain't gonna say how many years ago. We was in high school. Going into what, senior year, right?
Going into senior year.
Yeah, girl. And we were yes. And so we met. Well, we was in the same parish, girl.
We were in the same parish. Yeah, the same.
Was it the same
how
city?
was it broken down? Same city, Vermilion City.
Vermilion City. Oh my God! Remember, old girl? She'd be like, Vermilion City, wake up!
Yes.
Oh my God! For 8 days, there was somebody. 5-minute showers. Somebody yelling down the hallway, wake up! 6 o'clock in the morning. Like me and Shani was in there, like confused as hell, tired.
Right. I'm just here for the ride. I'm just glad to be here. Me and my cousin were the only black girls that were picked in my school.
Wow.
So we're just happy to be there. We were happy to have gotten chosen because, it didn't happen a lot.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a really cool experiment.
It was.
Excuse me. It was nice.
It was like my history teacher told me about it, and I didn't think I was like, yeah, all right. Like, she was trying to find girls who were interested in that, because as soon as you start talking about like state government, like, But it was interesting. Like I said, I didn't think I was gonna get chosen. I said, well, let me just see. I didn't really put nothing on it. I was like, whatever. And they were like, no, you going? It was maybe like 5 of us that went. And just like your school, I was one of the 2 black girls that was chosen as well. So, and it was fate that we were destined to meet, and it's been awesome. Yes. And it's been awesome, like just running into you after all this time.
Right. I was like, I'm in the city now, and I saw you doing your thing. I was like, well, let me just peek my head in and see what's going on, network and show love. And I'm just glad I did.
Yeah, I'm glad you did as well. That's so dope. It's so dope. It's so dope. When dope minds and dope spirits get together, it's just awesome.
No evidence.
Right. So, we're going to go ahead and get into some of this interesting stuff what you babes have been waiting for patiently. And so I have a series of questions, and you are basically the first to get these series of questions.
Talking the question cherry here on Baeology.
Yes. Questions that's kind of been like tumbling and fumbling around people's brains. And so I've just put them all on a sheet, and we're gonna go over those things, and discuss. Now, and this is a no judgment zone.
Okay, good. I don't need any judgment.
No, this is a no judgment zone. There are no right or wrong answers. I just want to know, kind of pick your brain about these things and like what you think. So the first question is chivalry dead? What you think?
I don't think it's dead. It's just very hard to come by because as the generations have gone on, the decades have gone on, males have become a little spoiled. So a lot of them expect things from women, and they don't, the initiating is kind of, it's not what it used to be, but you have to find the right guy, I feel like, because some guys just do it like second nature. So I don't think it's dead. It's just maybe hard to come by in some situations. You just got to have your mind right, know who you are, and know what type of people you're attracted. Don't attract nobody who need help.
So, I had a conversation with my coworker today, and I was just like, he's talking about one of his homies, and I was like, it sounds like he's subconsciously attracted to projects, like people who he feels like if he's not fixing them or fixing them up, but he's like, no, it's just if he feels he's not a contributor, and I'm just like, well, it's one thing to contribute, and then it's another thing to like feel like you doing some charity work. Like, don't look at me like I'm, yes, child, and rightfully so. I mean, I ask all the time, like, how am I contributing to this person? How do they contribute to me? Just outside of relationships, with all of my relationships, like, what kind of exchange are we having? Because I feel like I have to be contributing something to you, and vice versa.
It has to be a fair exchange of energy.
Correct.
I just feel like some people, like I'm how do I put it? I'm an empath. I'm a type of person who loves to heal. I have to be careful with that.
Yes,
people
very.
take advantage of that. I've experienced, so I know. So that guy you're speaking of sounds like the same type of guy. And I was reading up on something. It was like people who are naturally healers who love to, heal people. They may be teachers or whatever they feel, may be social workers. Those people have to be with other healers. You have to be with a like-minded person. And he keeps going to the Project Chicks. He may find one, that's aware, but he may be being zapped out of his energy over and over trying to save him.
Child, we have talked about the energy thieves. We have talked about
the vampires, I call them.
The energetic vampires, the energy thieves, all of that. And, I think some people are aware, some people aren't. But at any rate, I think self-preservation is extremely important. And, getting off, we got way off from chivalry, but it's important. This is a very important conversation to have because people feel like we've been conditioned to sacrifice ourselves in order to feel like we're made worthy of receiving anything. And so it's just this crazy systematic conditioning that you have to sacrifice, you have to give of yourself or give things that you don't even have in order to appease or please someone for what? So they like you?
Right.
Like that but I had to unlearn those things because for me my problem was yes. I had to unlearn. My problem was overcommitting. So like I would be like, yeah, I can do this, I can do, and I would have to stop. I would be so depleted, and I had to stop and really be like, okay, why am I really saying yes to these things? And I'm going and I'm doing these things, and I'm not even getting a full experience because I'm not fully present because I'm tired.
Yep.
So I had to get to the point where I'm like, I'm tired. I'm going to have to catch you on the flip side. But getting back to chivalry, now I don't really have an issue with the guys, opening doors and things like that. But I think on the flip, though, you have men that are just naturally complimentary. They're not trying to holler.
Right.
They just trying to tell you how nice you look. You know what I'm saying? They just trying to compliment, oh, I like earrings. I like that color on you, whatever. And that's just what they do. And then they have a lot of women, I find, especially here in New Orleans. I was talking about that too with my coworkers, that like don't know how to take that. Like they don't know how to receive that without thinking a man trying to get in their pants or like trying, and so that kind of ruins it for like the whole bunch when it comes to, and so when it comes to like approaching women, I think from what I've gathered from talking to men is that they don't want to deal with the rejection of it. So they want to know, like, how can they know that it's like a go, And I'm like,
just gotta feel a vibe. If she's sending off good vibes, shoot your shot. It's that simple. If you pass by somebody that may be popping a gum or just look like she's not in the mood, and you say, "Oh, girl, that hairstyle look good on you," you might get cussed out. She already popping her bubble gum. She's not looking too high right now, so you just gotta play that by ear because everybody don't need that compliment.
I want to know just why do men choose to approach women at bad times? I don't understand that. Like I've had that happen to me like several times where I was like in a rush or in a hurry or like trying to get somewhere or trying to do something. It's just like it was not a good time. And I'm clearly expressional, like you can see it all over my face. Like
I'm the same way too. I like to let people know this is how I feel.
Yeah, I don't know if it's the challenge or the chase or what have you. I don't know what it is. And then I've had those, those types of men that are just like, you look like you're having a bad day. Like let me make you smile real quick. And then that's like totally like made and brighten my whole day. So. It's a twofold thing, but I think that with society and, in this day and age, it's just like women not being able, some women, majority of women not being able to take a compliment without thinking that a man is trying to like holler or get in her drawers. And I think it's now these days, more and more men are becoming more afraid of rejection.
Mm-hmm.
So now you have like two sets of people that's just like not even dealing with each other, like talking about it.
That's true. I think it just comes down to everybody getting to know themselves, getting to know who they are, being in tune with themselves before they go out there to holler at anybody or feel the need to reject anybody. That's all it boils down to. People just not ready, and they making it hard for the people who are ready.
Yeah,
Right.
you're right. It all goes back to the self. It all goes back to the self. It's like one of the hardest things to do is really like take inventory of yourself and what you're doing right, things that could use some improvement, you know. But yeah, like you're totally right. It all goes back to the self, like all of it, all of it. So okay, moving on to the next question: should it be okay for women to propose to men?
I find that so awkward. I find that so awkward. Let me just start off by saying I'm not big on like traditional marriage and all that kind of stuff. I feel like whenever I meet the one I'm going to spend my life with, we're going to have us a nice unification ceremony, and I'm going to take on his last name. We're going to call it a day. But in our society, marriage is big, and the traditional way of doing it was, you know, the guy proposing to the lady.
Yeah.
And now these ladies, the reason why I find it awkward is because I'm seeing a lot of these ladies. They look so nice and beautiful, but a lot of these guys look gay. And I'm like, they look real effeminate. I'm not understanding. So that's why I find it awkward. You know, if the woman wants to say, come on, Devontae, you know, we've been going at it for some years now. Let's just go on and do what we do. Okay, that's cool. But she got to get on her knee.
Go on.
Get on her knee.
Go on,
in front
girl.
of this whole crowd of people. And this effeminate dude sitting there like this. Oh, baby, no, I don't like it.
You don't like it? You don't like it?
No, they need to stop. In that situation, they need to stop. They're just making a big deal out of proposals and all this kind of stuff anyway. And I'm like, I don't like it at all.
It's much too much.
It's a little too much. The videos I've seen, every guy has just been looking soft as a plush pillow. And these women are really...
Maybe they're the alpha women and the guys are passive, and, you know, that's why it works. But...
I don't want no passive guy. I couldn't survive that way.
Me either.
You gotta have a little rah-rah about you.
Said a little rah-rah.
Have a meow about them.
Yes. Well, this is how I feel. On a personal standpoint, I'm just like, okay, you know, my motto at Baeology is do whatever floats your boat. However, Shayla Aura Scott ain't proposing to no man. I'm not going to do it. I find that a lot of times, we talked about that today. We talked about so many things today. But I find that a lot of times, women do not understand. When you stand in your feminine energy and you just stand there, everything comes to you.
3 snaps.
Yes.
It's so true.
It comes to you.
Yes.
You don't have to move. You don't have to lift a finger. You don't have to lift your voice. It comes to you. And if you're not getting it, all you have to do is ask for it. That's it. And it's brought back. So I think what's going on is that there is a flip. So what's happening is that a lot of people are raising their daughters to be more aggressive. Go out and go get it. Be independent. Don't depend on no man for nothing. Right. And then a lot of men that have been raised up have been coddled. So, you know, they have had their mothers do everything for them. And there's no sense of real independence. So what you have is a switcheroo, a swap. And you have the woman that is going out and making things happen. And then you have the male that's been coddled. He's okay with her going to get it. And traditionally, you know, the way that we're even wired, going beyond tradition, the way that we're wired is that men are the hunter-gatherers.
Mm-hmm.
They go hunt and they go get it. They go gather it. They bring it back.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? That is literally like this natural masculine inclination. And, you know, women, we are creators, receivers.
Mm-hmm.
We receive. We stand there. We ain't got to go do all that,
right.
all that, this, that, and the third. We don't have to do all of that. But I don't think that, I think the art of femininity is lost.
Mm-hmm.
And women really haven't gotten the concept of just being women. Now, I have my aggressive moments sometimes because I'm just like, to me, it doesn't make sense to beat around the bush. I like to be direct. I like to have open and honest dialogue and conversation.
Right.
So when I decide this is something that I want, or I want something in particular, that's a conversation about this is what I want.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just putting it out there.
Right.
I don't expect you to be a mind reader. But going back, you know, to it all, to the question, I am not proposing to no man.
I missed that train myself.
Just, you know, the women that do or the women that have, it's not, you know, no shade on you. But I just feel like a man is going to do something or anything when he's ready.
Yeah.
You know, and if people got it, you know, twisted, and now, you know, pop culture is talking about, you know, choosing, getting chosen and all this other stuff. But, you know, everybody trying to get chose. But it's like at the same time, a man, whether he proposes or not,
mm-hmm.
he gonna do, if he do it,
mm-hmm.
he gonna do it when he get ready.
Right.
You know, so I just feel like if it's something that, if it's a situation that he's being forced into, or, you know, because it's quite embarrassing to be like proposed to or be proposing and like you get rejected.
Right.
It's so embarrassing because now people have made this like this big display of,
right.
you know, brouhaha or whatever, you know, and it's just, it's, yeah, like you said, it's just gotten to be a lot.
I've seen music videos. I've seen a lot of
Girl.
stuff to say that I want to marry you, and I feel like if you go big like that, make sure that person is ready.
How about do that smart? Do it. Have you saw the one with the guy? This was like a while back, and I was young, and it made me cry because I had never seen a man do all that for a woman, all of that.
Mm-hmm.
But now that I'm older and I think about it, I'm like, dude, you spent all this money. I hope you had to hook up at the hotel.
Oh, God.
I think he rented like 20-something rooms. And in every single room, there was either somebody from her family or her childhood that was very significant to her. I'm talking about family members.
So he spent money on airplane tickets,
girl,
and hotel rooms.
Yes.
Wow.
Teachers, like everybody who had some type of influence in her
Mm-hmm.
life up until that point,
Mm-hmm.
they were in a room somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
And she went through all of these rooms, and by the time she got to the last room, she was tore up.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she was just tore up. Like, she was just like, oh my God, I can't take it no more. And he was in the last room, and it was so beautiful. Like, if I can remember correctly, the candles and the flowers and all this other stuff. And here he is with this ring child, and he just pop. And I'm just like, you know, I guess if you got it like that,
Yeah.
but don't go broke behind no proposal, bruh.
Exactly.
I'm like, do it smart. Now, all that money you just spent on 20-something hotel rooms could have been going into, you know, some type of equity for a house, like a down payment for a home. It could have been going to, you know, if you guys wanted to have the wedding or a vacation or like a rainy day fund or stocks and bonds.
Yes, they put a lot of money into this stuff. Let that money alone and they can do that, have fun. But I mean, I don't know.
Right.
I feel like you definitely need to have a conversation before you go spend that
Child.
money anyway.
In the long run, if I was her, I would have literally had like a whole like breakdown, like, bruh, how much money did you spend on this? Because it's just like, and if I'm going, just like with the guy, if, you know, he's going to do what he's going to do when he decides to do it, with a woman. Like, we know if we want to spend our lives with somebody, like, it don't take all that. And I'm not saying give her a ring on a string. I'm not saying that. Hey, mama. What I'm saying is, you know, there's a place and time for things to do it in reason. There's a place and time for things. And I just don't feel like a woman's place is proposing to a man. I hate talking about a woman's place because it sounds so dated.
Yes, it does. But at the end of the day, it's just not been a good look from what I've seen so far.
Child.
I haven't been impressed.
Oh, all right. Anything else on the topic of women proposing?
Women, if you really have to do that, maybe you don't need to be getting married to him.
Right.
That's all I have to say.
Yeah. Okay. Point blank period. Does love at first sight exist? Do you think it exists? According to a study that was done in 2017, apparently, now the way they phrased this question versus the way they conducted the experiment was kind of misleading because they say, according to this study, that love at first sight does exist. However, what they were able to do was that they were able to run an experiment with people and their significant others, and upon seeing them or having sight of them for 5 seconds, something with the neurotransmitters in their brain started to change. Wow. But I'm like, you already know that person. Right. It's not like they're a stranger. Exactly. It's not like you're looking at a stranger. Like, you know this person and you love them and are in love with them quite possibly. So the fact that love at first sight, I didn't think for the sake of that experiment, it was I don't think it was properly measured in the way that the heading indicated.
Exactly. I mean, I would love to think it exists. I really kind of think it exists. I'm just such a sucker for love. I want it to exist so bad, you know.
You watch chick flicks?
You know, I'm like the Tupac sucker for love.
Okay.
JK. But no.
I'm like, so what you thug, babe?
Man, I don't know. I don't know. I've never experienced that.
Girl. Well, I tell you what. I tell you what. My opinion on it, if you ever see somebody and that you ain't never seen before in your life and be like, I love them.
Ralph Angel. Sorry.
Ooh. Look, even Ralph Angel got some things with him. You know what I'm saying? Right. We are humans. We all have these things. You know, and so if you see somebody and you're like, oh my God, I love you. 9 times out of 10, it's an illusion. I was made into a believer and then made into an unbeliever all over again. And I don't think, for me in particular, I don't think it was love at first sight. I think it was love at first date. Okay. And I'm not the only person that actually happened to. Like, I actually knew one other, about 2, maybe 3 other women that knew after their first date that this was somebody that they wanted to spend their life with. And so, you know, I go on a date, but I think for me, my issue with that was I went into it with some type of unrealistic, I had an unrealistic mindset when it came to the dichotomy of our relationship and the potential of what it could have been. And I look back at it, I would have done several things differently. But for him, he said it was love at first sight. When he saw me, he had to talk to me. This is my ex. When he saw me, he had to talk to me. Even though he said I looked mean, he wasn't deterred. And I liked the way he approached me. He was like, you know, excuse me, how you doing today? I just wanted to come over and introduce myself. Like, you know, my name is such and such, and you know, I just couldn't help but to notice you. I mean, I was looking at him too, like, you know, we were in the store, so he passed down the aisle. I was like, good Lord, what is that? In my head, child, I was like, so I'm like lightweight, kind of looking on the slide, kind of like paying attention as he walked through the store. I didn't know he was watching me too. I was just prepared to just go on about my business and about my life and get my little items and get the hell out of there. But, you know, he came and he introduced himself, and, you know, he said, girl, well, after we got together, he said, girl, it looked like you was just prancing around that stove.
Oh, he was telling you everything you needed to hear.
He told me everything. You know, but like I said, it was just like, I think that I went in, like I said, with this very fruitful, that's why I don't like chick flicks, because I drank the Kool-Aid. I had to spit it out. I went into it with this very, very fruitful fairy tale idea of love. And that's a big reason why it failed. Right. You know, because at the end of the day, when dust settled out of this whole whirlwind romance, and it was just the two of us left with, like, you know, no type of representatives or, you know, all the illusion had fallen off. I was like, who are you? Who are you? And I'm sure he was asking the same thing about me. Well, who are you? You know? And so for that reason, for that particular experience I've had, but for that reason, I just feel like it doesn't exist. You can lust, you know. Yeah. But I feel like to really look at somebody and say, I love you, that requires you to know the ins and outs. The good, the bad, the ugly. You know, the light and the dark. It's a requirement. It requires you to know the ins and outs of that person and how they really operate, and seeing them at their best and at their worst. And if you can still do all of that and look at that person and say, I know exactly who you are, or I feel like I do, and I still love you with all your faults and your flaws, even though they get on my nerves and drive me up a wall, but I still love you, then to me that's genuine. It's very, very genuine. Right. Yeah. And then I've just learned that in being human and in being flawed, there's a beauty in that. Yeah. There's beauty in that, because it's just like, it's raw. It's very telling, and sometimes it's emotional, and you know, it's the things that people don't want to deal with, and they don't want to talk about, and they want to hide it, they want to stuff it and suppress it. But to me, those are the things that make people unique. It makes us us.
For sure.
Yeah.
Gotta be us.
Yeah, for sure. You're not going to date on me, huh?
No, I just really want love at first sight to be real.
But it can be for you,
girl. At this rate,
it can be
love at first 6 months. I don't know, girl. That's a whole nother conversation.
Wait, so you know, so are you? What's your status?
I am single. Like, I'm real life single. Like, I hang out. I've gone on a few dates since I've been out here. Like, one date was just like a bust. It was like, we weren't even.
Tell us about it.
Well, I met this guy. I gave him my number. And he seemed nice. He called me that same day.
That's what my ex did, girl.
I was just like, I don't like that pressure. I've had that, meet somebody, they put that pressure on you, you be like, well, I guess it's time, and you just boom, boom, and rush. I was like, oh, no. But I agreed to go out with him that night. He picked me up. We went to a bar or whatever. And we played, like, what do you call that, air hockey. We were having, like, good conversation. I just knew that, I'll just put it out there. Since I'm not a religious person, if a person is religious that I date, it's always going to be a problem, because I'm never going to be religious, and they probably may always be religious. So, you know, just other little things. I was like, he's kind of too old to not be a little bit more mature or whatever. So, you know. He
probably didn't have no kids. He didn't have any kids, did he?
No. Okay. And I later come to find out he was Puerto Rican. And why I didn't know from jump? Because he looked black.
Well, you know.
And he didn't say nothing.
And he didn't have no accent either?
No. And he didn't say
he was Puerto
nothing.
Rico?
Yes. And
he had pretty hair?
He had none. He had the stubble.
Oh, okay.
You know, stubble sometimes can be with us too. You know, if you bald and you just let it grow a little bit. So
okay. So you couldn't tell.
I couldn't tell. He threw that out there. I was like, oh, that's something. Usually people from Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic.
Yeah, very proud of their heritage.
My mother's from the islands, and I be representing like I was born there. But
okay.
But he didn't say nothing. I was like, okay. That's weird to me. You're trying to get, trying to pass on the slick. What's going on? Trying to keep that a secret. But I mean, I don't know. It just wasn't what's up for me, and I kind of ignored him after that. Sorry.
If you're watching, all of my, ref in the building. Look, so if you guys out there, if you're single and you're looking for a good woman, hit me up, and I'ma screen y'all for her. Okay?
I was just gonna screen y'all.
I'ma screen y'all. And normally when I do put that out there, like somebody does pop into my DMs.
What?
Yeah, somebody normally pops into my DMs and be like, "Oh yeah, tell her I said what's up."
How you doing?
Raph wants to know, what does it matter if he didn't tell you his origins?
It doesn't matter. It's just how it went about. I feel it was like sly, like, I don't know.
Like sneaky?
Yeah, sneaky. Like, I don't care. Like, my mother's from the islands. You think I'm all the way black? No, my great-grandfather is Italian. Well, was Italian, so
yeah.
It don't make me never mind. It was just how it went about. Just the vibes I was getting. It wasn't something that I could see myself going on with. It was a one-day thing. That's why you go on dates to know what you like.
Right, and then what you don't like, and that's the I think that's the cool part about being single. You're just free to date and do what you want, and then you call the shots, and what works for you, and what doesn't. And say, okay, well, next time I could do this a little different, or excuse me, next time I'll do that a little different. I'll tweak that, or
exactly.
I want to do that again. That was cool. And
the drinks are pretty strong too. And I had been to that bar before, and then I forgot until I got there with him. I was like, something about this bar I remember. I was like, oh, these strong drinks. And I'm like,
girl, where did y'all go?
What is it called? God. It's like, is it Mother Mary? Oh, no.
What?
It's like the bar on the corner, close to Magazine Street, I think.
Oh, I don't know.
I don't know either, but I've
the drinks are strong.
Yeah. But air hockey was fun. I like a little good competitive stuff, so that was fun.
Tickle your fancy a little bit.
Right.
So, any other date stories you want to share?
I've been on a few, I don't know if I want to share.
Girl, I'm going to give you a date story.
Okay.
I tried this internet dating. Girl, have you tried the internet dating?
I had an app on my phone, and I found out I had to pay to read messages. I'm like, no, I'm not going to pay for attention. I can't.
Girl, was it Black People Meet?
I think it was Black
Girl!
People Meet.
I said, hell no, too. I'm not doing that. Yeah, I was like, and then they be hitting you up on there, too, like phone play buzzing.
Wow.
Yes, but then you got to pay to play. Ain't nobody got time for that.
No.
Ciao. I don't even want which ones, because they were like both. I had two encounters. I'll talk about the okay. So, met a guy. And looked great on paper. He wasn't really too much of a looker, but his body was nice. Like, that was like a strong emphasis on about, like, I like the way, first of all, like, if a man could wear like a button up and fill up his button up, yeah. And with the shoulders. And you could see the muscles, and he just fill up his button up like it was made for him. I'm a sucker for that. Okay, so he had a couple of pictures where he was in his button up, looking all corporate and things, and I was like, okay, you know what? I said, guys do this all the time. Guys date chicks because they body's nice. They might not be lookers, but they be like, man, she fine. So I'm like, okay, let me flip the script right quick. So. I looked at his profile. I think he could see that I looked at his profile. So he looked at mine. And, you know, we started talking. And then he gave me his phone, so we exchanged phone numbers. Conversation was great. We were, like, extra, like, mad compatible. So he was Pisces, I was Pisces. And so, yeah, I have, like, a lot in common with, like, Pisces men. I could talk to a Pisces man, like, for hours. And it don't even have to be on no type of romantic type stuff. It's just, we just connect. So I could just talk. And so we would talk. We would talk for hours on the phone about all kinds of stuff. And I was like, oh, man, like, this is dope. So after talking for a while, because, you know, I still had a little judgment on internet dating. So I was like, well, I'm going to go through an acceptable time period. Denzel say black people play too much. Whatever. I was like, I'm gonna go through this time period of what I feel like is acceptable to meet this guy. All right. And so, like, we met. Ciao. I walked in the restaurant. We met at a restaurant. I walked in the restaurant, and I have no idea how the waitress knew to guide me to the table. But she guided me to the table. And when I got to the table, child, he looked like he was a good 100, 150 pounds heavier than on his photos.
No.
Yes.
So they Photoshop, or had he just gained some weight?
He had gained weight because it couldn't have been Photoshop. Like, he gained, like, some serious weight. And I felt a certain type of way.
You should have.
Because,
he was deceiving you.
Right, it was deceptive, so I called it half a catfish. Because it was still him.
Right.
But it just wasn't him how he looked in the pictures. And I was like, you know, and that was the first time I ever felt like the people on the show catfish. And I was like, because I was like, man, how can people be so shallow? But it's like, at the same time, if you are portraying to me one image and you are not that, when I get to the actual you, I'm going to feel like I was deceived. I feel like it was false advertisement.
Exactly.
I was, you know, and I'm just like, the fact of the matter is, let me decide if I want to talk to you in your current state.
Right.
Like, first of all, give me that option and decision. Second of all, the connection that we had was damaged because I felt deceived. So I'm like, okay, if you can be deceptive about this, what else can you be deceptive about and possibly manipulative?
Right.
So, you know.
Did he try to, like, wiggle his way out of it? Like, you know I gained a little weight, but, you know, some.
He didn't even acknowledge it.
Oh, he was passive about it.
He didn't even acknowledge it.
No.
Girl. And me being...
He's probably crazy. Probably a narcissist on the slick. Ain't no telling.
Me being the nice person that I am, I sat through that entire date.
Was the food good at least?
The food, girl, the food was good. I had dessert and everything. We actually wound up sharing the dessert, and I was like, I don't plan on doing this with you.
You let him know that was just a one-time thing?
I did let him know. We had a conversation, and that's one thing that I can give myself credit for, because we did have a conversation about it. And I was just like, I felt like I gave you who I was. Like, my pictures, my photos were recent, so you got me. But I felt like I didn't get you, and, you know, I wasn't really cool with that. You know, I felt like we've been talking and all this other stuff. Like, you could have told me, bruh.
Right.
You could have told me.
Yeah, I gotta get a little more aggressive and just let people know, because I shouldn't ignore that guy. I should just told him, like, look, you look cheesy. That's how I feel like he was.
Yeah, a little cheesy. And you know, girl, we can't do cheese, child. Not unless it's on food.
Right.
You know, and yeah, but I feel like when it comes to those types of things, you use your discretion. And if you want to tell them anything at all, because at the end of the day, you don't owe him nothing. He don't owe you nothing. You know, so it's just like, if you decide you want to ghost out, ghost out.
Right.
You know.
It felt good, because I'm like,
good.
It's my turn.
Yeah. Because it's just like, Yeah, but for me, I was telling people. I guess I was running my own social experiment then too.
Right.
So I was telling people this other guy who I think he really was like a catfish for real. Another guy, again, internet data. Mad chemistry. You know, talk to the phone all the time. Matt ain't look nothing like his picture. It was like he might have got like a more attractive brother or like a cousin or somebody to like somebody's pictures, but like it was not him.
That's crazy.
And so, you know, went out, chilled, had a good time, and then it was just like the next day he was just trying like nothing ever happened, and I was like, bruh, so you roll. I was like, this is what I have issues with. You know, I told him, I was like, you look like a shell of yourself, if that's even you. Wow. But people so crazy that I was like, okay, we're already in motion of like going on this date, so I'm gonna play it cool. I'm gonna go on this date because I don't need him coming to my house, cutting the fools, following, stalking me, all this other stuff. I said, okay. I said, okay, Che, hang with the experience in that moment. So I hung with it, and then I slept on it, and then I was like, nah, it's not going to work. So, you know.
That's a bit much. If I ever dabble in internet dating, I'm going to have to do some, like, video messaging.
You got to.
Something, because I don't have time to go anywhere. You would not be who you portray to be. I'm going to be upset.
Duo is a great app. It works for iPhone and it works for Droid. Google Duo, Duo, and it says great quality picture.
Okay, girl, I'm gonna check Duo out.
Yeah, whenever you get ready to hop back on, you know, the internet dating, I'm like a professional at it. What? Setting up profiles and all that. I will help you out.
Yes, I'm gonna accept that.
We gonna do it. All right, so it's 10 minutes, well, like actually 9 minutes left in the hour. So you got us for 9 more minutes, and then after that, I'm going to shut this off, and I'm going to encourage you guys to go listen at www.crescentcityradio.com. Go to crescentcityradio.com. On the top left column, my phone's working. I don't know, Raph. Don't play with me with this phone, okay? Like, the phone say ring only, do not use, call, drop, keypad. I have no idea. I don't know. Shout out to those of you who are watching right now.
Y'all.
Hey, this is Baeology on CrescentCityRadio.com. So you got us for 8 more minutes, and then we're going to shut this thing off, and then you're going to have to listen to us. But I know we look lovely, you know. So, advertising for Google Duo, video messaging saved my life, LOL. I need you to elaborate on that. That's one of my panelists, Denzel. He is a riot. Ref, you asking me to do all of this stuff I do not know how to do, baby. I might look like, you know, I don't even know. I might look like I'm a millennial. I am a millennial. However, I'm not good at technology, okay? Oh, chime you in your Facebook Live. What, like a split screen?
Oh, yeah. I see people do that.
I don't know how to do that.
It's probably in your settings.
Oh. You're going to have to slide my DMs and tell me how to do it. Like, what to do. Okay. Wait. We're going to get to that. Oh, I see. Okay. Cool. Okay, I see that. Well, no, we're going to do something. We're going to do something special because I'm literally about to get off of here. Oh, okay. He said, Denzel says if the person said they can't do video messaging, they catfishing.
Okay.
Or they either just that petty and they know the person who pictures they stealing. Okay, last question. Can you be in love with more than one person? I'm going to stretch my afro out while you think about it.
All these questions.
Y'all like my hair?
It looks lovely.
Thank you.
Be in love with more than one person, like romantically in love with them. Or sometimes you can be in love with like someone that's your close friend or something because they mirror you that much. So romantically in love with
yes, romantically. on a romantic tip.
I mean, I know I can't, but obviously because of polygamy and all this grand stuff that's going on, obviously other people can be, or they feel that they can be.
Mm-hmm.
That's a real tricky thing for me because I feel no connection to that whatsoever, so it's hard for me to understand how people, you know, justify being in love with more than one person. I'm just who I am, so I can't get down with that one. But I do believe that since people choose to live that lifestyle of being with more than one person and proclaiming to be in love with them, that it must be real for them. But I don't get with that.
Do you think we have like more than one soulmate?
See, soulmates is a thing that doesn't have to be a romantic person. You can have a BFF that's your soulmate because that person mirrors you. That person shows you who you are and how you need to change and evolve or whatever. So, soulmate to me doesn't have to be a romantic thing.
What if they are?
Then can you have more than one? I don't know.
I think you can have more than one soulmate, and I think that once you if you met them, multiple of them in one lifetime, and especially at one time, like more than one at once, then maybe perhaps maybe I never felt like I was in love with more than one person.
I've never felt that either. I don't know if I will.
Cause I'm like, if I'm really in love with you, then you have all of my attention.
Yeah.
I can't even see other people. Like literally, like people probably be like, girl, breaking their neck looking at. I'm not even paying attention to that. Like, honestly, if I'm really, really, really in love with somebody, I don't even see nobody else. Like, yeah, like that person is like who I'm, where my focus and attention is. So, but that's just me. I be in my feelings.
Yeah, I'm pretty much in my feelings on that Virgo, that typical Virgo.
Virgos. Y'all funny.
Yeah. Handfuls.
That's all I'm going to say is y'all funny. Last question. Should a man always be expected to pay for the first date?
No. That's not like, I don't know. No, I don't think so. Because, what if the lady asks the guy out? That happens. So if I ask the guy out, be like, oh, you want to go grab a bite, go grab a drink or something? I don't mind paying for it if it's the first date. It's not going to keep going on over and over and over.
Right.
You're definitely going to pitch in, but it depends. If she asks him, then why not?
Yeah, that's my rule. That's also my rule. It's like if I orchestrate or if I, requesting that you come out with me, then yeah, I'm prepared to pay for it. Especially if it's something that I know that you really probably don't even want to do, but you're just doing it because I won't do it.
Right.
I'll pay for it. But if I ask, then yeah, I'm gonna pay for it. I also have a rule. And I gotta like really, really trust you at this point. I don't never go. Ralph always pays no matter who asks. If he asks, then he should pay. That's what my mama say. I have a rule though. Like if I am going on a date with a guy for the first time, I always have enough money. Like to cover my hair.
Like visibly, like I got mean. Don't be trying to play me.
If I don't, if I don't have the money at the time, if it's a little strange, I'm not going to go out on that date. Unless, like, that's somebody I really, really trust and I know how they roll and I know that they would be, like, offended if I tried to pay. Yeah. Then, okay, cool. But normally, if it's the first date, I ain't going on the first date broke. No. I don't know you like that. I don't know how we rocking with that. You know what I'm saying? Like, not offering it, no, okay. But I kind of can feel the vibe too about like just during that time during the day, I kind of get a feel for like how he was raised. If he was raised old school, then I already know. No, don't even bring it up. Because it might be, a little a little offensive. Don't hate on us Virgos. You know what?
Virgo. I'm not hating on me.
He talking to me, child.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. So it's 6:59. So we are about to go ahead and shut this live down. If you are just watching or just tuning in, please go to crescentcityradio.com. It's actually in the description. If you have not already shared this video, go ahead and share the video. Like the video. If you like what we're saying, like the video. Like I said, share the video. And we're going to go ahead and transition over to crescentcityradio.com. Thank you. You can hear us good? Or can you hear us? Am I doing this right? Thanks for sharing, y'all. It's so awesome. Danny. Anyways, just go. Well, I guess he didn't DM me and say anything was wrong, so I guess he can hear me. Need to get his phone so that we want to chime in. I told you I'm gonna get you, Ralph. I got you, bruh. We're gonna actually have something where I want you to come in. I want you to actually come in. So we're gonna do like a special something or other. Cool? So yeah, go ahead on. You can catch us on the replay, but we're doing the second half, Chris, at Crescent City Radio. Okay. The rest, hey Chris. The rest at crescentcityradio.com. That's crescentcityradio.com. Okay. Bye-bye. Join us on crescentcityradio.com right now.
Peace.
Bye.